Right, today's video we're going to have a look at how to make EM. This is basically all you're going to need. A sheet of paper that I'm going to read out a little bit about you because, to be honest, these are tongue twisters and I just want to say it straight. So what is EM before we get started? And it's basically effective microorganisms is a mixed culture of beneficial microorganisms, primarily photosynthetic bacteria and lactic acid bacteria, yeast, actinomycetes and fermenting fungi. So there's a lot of kind of life in this, which is called EM1. It's actually the mother tincture, and in this video we're going to have a look at how to do activated EM. I'm going to show you now how to do that in a while. Plus, bear in mind, this is one lovely thing I'm going to teach you now in upcoming videos, is how to actually make this so you don't have to pay for it. Now this is about $30, but as you see in the video, it's actually quite cheap because you can stretch it quite far. Right, so now these can be applied as an inoculant to increase the microbial diversity of soils and other natural environments such as human bodies, so you can actually even drink it. EM is also used in much success in animal houses as well as their feed, and is also successful use in the management of water and waste. Because it's alive, it basically gobbles up all those harmful bacteria. So it's a really good one for kind of cleaning up environments, ponds. You can add it then to your plants, you can spray it onto the foliage of the plants, and it just ensures that no kind of pathogenic bacteria can kind of take up that space, and hence the reason why it kind of is really good as a kind of a pest control. Now of course you can feed it indirectly. It's a feed for your plants as well, indirectly, and I mean indirectly because what happens is, as we already know, most of you know that bacteria, when they get digested by larger bacteria, what tends to happen is that their excrement becomes then of course the water soluble nutrients, and a lot of bacteria will actually even kind of eat away at tiny particles of stone and hence take up those minerals into their bodies, and that's how plants actually take them up as well. So actually by applying this, you can help your plants, you can boost them, give them a happy, healthy environment, but it's also very good. You can actually drink it. Now don't take my word for it. I have drunk it, I'm still alive. I felt actually, one time I had indigestion, I drank it and I actually felt a lot better as well, so just to let you know that. Okay, so how do we make it? So this being the mother tincture, I guess you could call it. 1 liter of this costs $30 as mentioned, and you can apply this straight away to 1,000 liters. So you have 1 liter to 1,000 parts. So if you want to make then another form which is called activated EM, you can actually take a small tiny amount and you can add it to your water, which in this case is well water. Now you can stretch that by 20 times. So these 20 bottles will make 20 bottles of activated EM, and if you mix that again with 1,000 liters of water, you can actually stretch that up to 20,000 liters of water, more than enough for anybody's garden needs within any kind of given year. So that's it. The other thing you need is blackstrap molasses. Now I don't have blackstrap molasses. What I have here is jaggery, which is a kind of a type of sugar, very similar to blackstrap molasses. If you're in India or places like that where this is available, you can use it. Works just as fine. And the other thing I have here, that is actually just a bit of EM that I have spare. I don't really need that. The most important thing I have is this, and it's basically just for me to drink some water because India is very hot. So now the last thing you're going to need is going to be a pH test strip, and the important thing here is it has to be below 3.5 for EM to be either ready or safe to use for your plants, your household items. You can clean your bathrooms with it, which actually brings me up to a really interesting point. We'll get to making this now in a second, but we have to think about what does clean actually mean. So you can take a load of chemicals and you can throw them on your bathroom tiles and walls, and you've just created a poisonous atmosphere for not only all the bacteria that are on your wall, but also for yourself. Now this stuff, you can drink it, but it gobbles up all those bad bacteria. So I would suggest add a few smellies to your activated EM, use it in actually washing your bathroom tiles, and it really works a treat as well. Okay, so how do we actually make it? Very simple. Just wanna double check one more thing. I'll just cut this bit out. Yeah, you can put it in your fish tank, water pump treatment. There we go. I just want to, normally I don't actually follow these guidelines. I actually just stick in a little bit of EM. Okay, so it's basically just 1 part EM, 1 part blackstrap molasses, and 22 parts water. So just follow that if you are very particular. I'm not. So all I'm going to do is going to pour a bit of that out. Now, because I'm using well water, I'm pretty safe. There's no chlorine in that, and you can also, of course, use rainwater. But if you do have chlorinated water, just leave it stand there for 24 hours, and all the harmful chlorine will just gas off and be gone. So all you got to do is take some of this EM, and just all you gotta add, and I don't remember if this was actually EM or this one. No, this one is actually the EM, and this is the Jaggly. No, other way around. Yeah. Let's add a bit of that. And there we go. Now I'm gonna top it up to the very top with some water. If you were going to use it for drinking, of course, then just use drinking water for that. And then just put the lid on. Now if you're using molasses, it's a good idea to actually take a bit of lukewarm water to just dissolve the molasses. Jaggery doesn't have that kind of problem. And that's it, finished. Activated EM, you can mix that to 1,000 liters of water. In about 7 days it will be ready. This is actually fermenting away now. And what you have to do every day, you have to let off some gas as well. This is very important, otherwise the whole thing can actually explode. So you want to do that, especially in a hot environment like India. Last but not least, the way this was actually developed and actually found is Dr. Higa, he basically came up with this EM, and he was testing all these kind of different microbes because he was also interested in how to actually create healthy landscapes and benefit the soil rather than actually destroying it. And he found that when he went on holiday, he had thrown out a couple of batches, and there was one batch where he threw it on some plants as well, and he found that they just grew really amazingly. And so he went through his notes again, and he actually found what the concoction was, and he then started making this, which is what you have in this bottle as well. Now you can buy that anywhere online if you want to spend $30. Very similar in the treatment, how you would use it, how you would use compost tea. And so you can apply it to the foliage for protection, or you can actually use it as a feed as well. Right, last but not least, we need to, of course, test our activated EM. And what we need to do is we need to basically wait until it stops off-gassing, and then you can just stick a strip of this pH tester, which you can get anywhere in the world in a chemist, and you just dip it in, and it needs to be at 3.5 for it to be actually usable on whatever application you want to use it for. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is that, you see, I used to actually use EM, but then I got kind of sidetracked by the whole compost tea thing, really got into it, and I'm thinking now to add it to compost tea at the very end, especially this one, the activated form. Just cheaper, and of course it's more active as well. And if you happen to be a new gardener and you've taken on a new bit of land, or you happen to be a chemical farmer watching this, you never know, and you want to kind of regenerate your soil fast, then of course adding compost tea or EM is the way to go. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you hopefully in the next one as well.